Well, I posted about this a few weeks ago and learned that there were 3 other churches in the state of Texas that were also doing a 50th anniversary concert of it this year. And that's unique to Celebrate Life.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
don't
it
know
is.
of another youth musical that somebody's doing a 50th
None other
anniversary.
than I
I've
know of.
never heard
yeah.
of another one being celebrated.
Yeah. So
I've done one for a reunion.
Why was that?
Think about that.
Why is that?
That happens with Celebrate Life. It happens with Messiah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the broadness of the message of Celebrate Life might be a big part of it. I think it is the music, it's the text, but I think it tells the full story. Some of the other musicals were more issue-oriented, or they would take a slice of the gospel.
Or they would use the slang. There's a difference between the language of the newspaper and slang. Celebrate Life has the language of the newspaper. Some of the others, on purpose, would use slang to show that they were up and they were cool, and it worked. It connected with young people, but it didn't have lasting power. So you take the gospel, and instead of 3 guys sitting here like we are, there were 4, and they're Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and they're telling the story as they lived it. It brought it up to date, alive amongst us. It's hard to beat the gospel for the storyline and scripture passage as the lyrics. That is indeed timeless. And I really consider it to be a combination, and this isn't some big crystal ball thing, but of divine inspiration and human genius combined. The human genius I would put into Burl, even Reagan, though he won't allow that, and certainly into Cynthia's singing. You take this skill set genius of best that humans have to offer, and the divine inspiration, and then you put that into a turmoil kind of church setting, and it came and it keeps on coming. 50 years is a testimony enough to what it was and what it did for that genre. But I tell you, I think it also did this, and you may or may not agree with this, but it grew up a generation of teenagers who became the adults who were running the church and said, by the way, we want that on Sunday morning out of our hymnals, and if the hymnal can't handle it, put it on a screen. Now, I've said that kind of thing in front of Kurt Kaiser before, and he would get red in the face. He did not want to be connected with it in any way. But on the positive side of that, there's, for every one of these slang musicals, and I'm not saying that Tell It Like It Is was, but for every one of those slang musicals, there's the current language of the newspaper musical that stayed afloat and finally only held right. But it I think brought us a generation that wanted to sing that kind of music even when their hair started turning gray.